episodic series on Disney Plus about Boba Fett, both after his escape from the Sarlacc pit and Return of the Jedi, and after his scenes in The Mandalorian where he took over Mos Espa on Tatooine for Bib Fortuna, who had taken it over after the death of Jabba the Hutt in Return of the Jedi. Book of Boba Fett just ended yesterday, and I wanted to talk about the other episodes that we didn't talk about when we did the first half video. We talked about how The Mandalorian was a better series. I'll tell you, man, this is not for everyone, probably, but...
Oh, it's definitely not.
I was going to say, I think it's better than a lot of the other shit that's come out, though, still.
You think it's better than, like, Mandalorian?
No. Mandalorian, okay, I was going to say, I was going to get to that, because this is kind of like a spin-off of The Mandalorian, sort of.
Right.
Even though it's about a character that's from a movie that was almost 40 years ago. We questioned how they would handle the dual stories once it caught up to The Mandalorian. The answer to that question was they would just turn it into a different show. So I'm going to guess you're not going to keep watching this.
Unless you're going to make me know.
Because I don't think it's going to really change. After the getting caught up to the present day storyline, they apparently had no idea what to do with the story that they were telling and just handed it off to the character that everybody liked.
Nobody's really hyped about this online.
No, it does not have, like,
whereas
people
Mandalorian,
seem to not like this.
People being excited. I don't blame them.
I think it's because the Baby Yoda thing kind of carried The Mandalorian for a lot of people. In episode 4, it was pretty solid. It was about how Boba Fett found and helped save the life of Fennec Shand. Then their budding partnership, how she agreed to help him, and then she decided not to leave after they were square again. It wasn't bad, but it was ultimately forgettable, especially given the next two episodes. I had to look up what happened in episode 4 too, because I had totally forgotten. Episodes 5 and 6 were basically The Mandalorian season 2.5. A lot of viewers liked, but left people hoping for a rich Boba Fett series wanting. Makes sense. It upset some people that were like, this is a Boba Fett show. Why is the Mandalorian now the main character of the show? I fear we'll get less quiet moments of character building with how the show is going. And it's not bad, but like my wife said, the main actor is no Pedro Pascal, who plays the Mandalorian. Should he be? Probably not. But it's almost as if when they were writing it, they said, where do we go with this? I don't know. Well, we have this other show that's immensely popular. In episodes 5 and 6, the title character had less than a minute of screen time and 0 dialogue in 2 episodes of his own show. Made me feel like during the writing process, they realized they painted themselves into a corner by having the story revolve around Boba Fett being overlord of a city, region locking them to Mos Espa and Tatooine. And they realized, like, hey, this kind of sucks. A lot of the greatness of Star Wars is kind of like planet hopping, where we go to these different places and different exciting pocket stories happen. And that's something they couldn't do if it's about a guy trying to hold down a city on Tatooine, which is the oldest and probably most boring Star Wars planet at this point. The final episode, Boba Fett had lines. Finish up the story of Boba Fett as the protector of Mos Espa. Did do that because they had to? Probably. But it was still a pretty good and action-packed finale. Pretty much everything positive you would have wanted to happen did, which is a big, not gripe, but it's a major takeaway. Nothing went wrong for the heroes at all. And even when it seemed like it was going wrong, it turned around really fast. The Wookiee Chrysanthemum was pretty much dead, then fine, then close to dead, then totally fine again. It seemed like it was going very bad during certain moments, but at the end, everything worked out. I mean, literally everything. It was a solid hour of turn off your brain and watch entertainment, but did it redeem the series as a whole? No. I would still say it wasn't as good as 5 and 6 because they told a story that was much more interesting, because they told a story about a character who was much more interesting. Sort of like a setup for Mandalorian season 3, more so than it was a story of Boba Fett. Disney in general does this all the time, where it feels like a lot of the stuff you're watching on their channel is being used, even Mandalorian season 2, is being used to set up stories for other characters that they then want you to watch the standalone show of. And all the Marvel shows do that. It just seems like they're set up for other stuff, where it kind of makes me wonder if Jon Favreau had a lunch with Kevin Feige by request of Disney, and Kevin Feige was like, here's what I would do with Star Wars to kind of just tie everything together from now on. And they're sort of doing that, but they don't need to. Just do small scale stories. You don't have to weave everything together about this huge galactic plot. I'm glad the way they went with the Mandalorian stuff too, by the way, with the Grogu storyline, how he just showed up wearing the chainmail. Like, dude, fuck Luke Skywalker. That choice was trash, by the way. Also, we know what would happen if he chose the lightsaber. It's not good. Very lukewarm recommendation to Star Wars fans. It's very middling. It has 2 really good episodes that are essentially episodes of another show. And then the finale kind of just ties it all up for the Mandalorian season 3. If you're a Mandalorian fan and you haven't seen this, that's weird. But also, you can probably get away with just watching episodes 5, 6, and 7. That's it. The Book of Boba Fett was boring. I did not like it. I watched as a Star Wars noob. As a dissatisfied noob, I refuse to continue watching this show. The production looked cheap. Yeah, a real boring experience. 2 out of 10.
Hello there.